Straight. It ain't nothing but a gangster ball. It ain't nothing but nigga. This a gangster ball. It ain't nothing but party, party, doom, 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 doom. Hello, YouTube. Are y'all here? Anybody here seen our old friend Diddy? Can y'all tell me where he's going? He fucked over a lot of people. Some say he did good. I just looked around and he's gone, 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 gone. You can't say that his lawyers didn't try. Baby, they were in there making all kinds of arrangements. $50 million, although the $50 million wasn't actually cash. It was just him signing over his property. If he didn't show up, he had to surrender his house. $50 million house, however, in Florida. And they started coming up with all this other stuff today. Of course, the lawyer already had all of the passports. If he was going to run, he might want to take his family with him so it wouldn't be in a strange country with nobody there. They surrendered the passports. They agreed to he'll stay in the house. He won't have no women guests, only close family members. They get a whole laundry list of all the things that Diddy would do if you let him back in them streets. Unfortunately, they had all this evidence of what he's done just recently. His attempt to intimidate witnesses. You know them people are scared of him. He's been accused of several unalivings, correct? And he's a desperate man. I bet you, I'm sure that he is regretting not running when he had a chance. Because I just don't see any, if I ever get out of here, gonna give it all away, give the rest to charity. All I want is a brighter day if I ever get out of here. How y'all doing? Kimberly White, how you doing, Kimberly? Vaughn Cornelius? Oh, you were Vaughn Cornelius instead of Don Cornelius. Okay. Was good. Well, we kind of knew yesterday they denied his bail. And then today he came back for to appeal the bail. I guess you can do that in one day. And they just gave you all this list of all the things that he gonna have people signing into the house. They're gonna hire, I guess it would be an expense of the defendant to pay for all the security around the clock, all this stuff, ankle bracelets and all this shit they're gonna do. And it went on, I guess, I was waiting for the decision all day. But by the end of the day, the judge said, no, it's not enough, right? We know, you're going to get out of here and you're going to start manipulating things like you have been doing all of your life. You're going to start intimidating people, correct? You're going to start threatening people. You're going to start bringing up things that happen in the freak-offs, anything and everything, right? So he said, hell no. Then we're going to put you, when we put you in jail, we're going to put you over there in protective custody, or what they call the SHU program. The SHU program is basically the hole. Even though you haven't done anything yet in jail, but if you put you in the SHU, then you're in protective custody. I think that's where they had Justice Smollett. Right? So they're not letting him go. I guess this lawyer, I don't know why we have so much respect for lawyers, really. People always say, be a doctor, be a lawyer. The first thing you say as an American citizen. But I don't know, because all they do is lie. It's their job to lie. And that's some kind of job. When your job is to go in there and spin a story, irregardless of what the truth is. A lot of them say, I don't even want to know if you did it or not. My job is to get you off, right? So this dude was walking frontwards and backwards. He was making all the stops on the damn TV shows on yesterday. I guess he's going to get his 10 minutes of fame out of this thing. But at the end, the judge said, no, we're holding you without bail. It's a damn shame, because then you look at it. Well, why? I mean, to people who are, soul brother and all that. And it is a reasonable question. Why in the fuck ain't Donald Trump in jail then? Why has he had case after case after case after case after case, and they never considered him a flight risk? He got billions of dollars, right? Couldn't he move to Bali too? Hi, Frida Gross. Hi, Frida Gross. You're doing better physically. Remember, at one point you said you were going to leave the YouTube because of health issue, and I see you're back in your swing of things. So I'm happy to hear that. Lord knows that we've been around. Oh yeah. The arrogance to think they weren't listening to his calls, or at least get the records later. Child, if he would have gotten bail, he would have sat there in some expensive suite in New York City. His sons would have been coming in and out of the building. I guess he wanted to have the family to come in. Whoever was allowed to go in the building, he would just simply tell them what to do. To some extent, he's going to do that in prison, right? But they're going to have him in protective custody, so he's not even going to have access to a phone. And whatever he says on the phone is going to have to be so encrypted because they listen to the phone calls, right? So they have a lot more control over him in jail, no matter how much he made it seem like that he was basically going to be in prison in his own mansion. You just walk around in the mansion all day. Like he was out there in the streets anyway. Child, please. I'm sorry. A lot of people say, oh, you got to stand up for the black. I don't believe in all that shit, child. This man was a monster. I just can't get into these guys that beat up on women. I know you've been around for a while. You know, I've had some extensive experience with that as a child. I think it left scars on me for the rest of my goddamn life. So no, I'm not with that. I can't accept it. And that's just what was going to happen. Even if he didn't get out there and start breaking legs and arms and all that, he was definitely going to be threatening them, or just by his presence and his history, he was going to be intimidating the witnesses. So now they're saying that it's not 50 witnesses and victims. According to his lawyer, there's really just one victim. That's Cassie. All the rest of them are witnesses, 50 people. Well, I imagine there are people all over the place that can give testimony, particularly if they put the screws on them, honey. They'll come to your house, tell you, well, you love your children, you love your job, you love your home. Are you willing to give it up for the next 5 years? Then testify against Puff Daddy. That's how they do. They play just as dirty as the criminal. Diddy just needs baby oil. You know, I was thinking about that because first I said, who in the fuck wants to have that much sex, right? And it was hypocrisy on my part, because basically the drug that I did, that's all we did is have sex. People would have sex for 16 hours. I'm not exaggerating. So the freak offs were going on all over the Tenderloin, honey. It was not unusual at all. He went to that town and he was supposed to turn himself in the next day. And they went in there and found drugs on him. They found drugs on him a day before he went to trial because he's a drug addict. If you are a normal person, ain't no way in hell you're going to be sitting up here in New York City, supposed to be turning yourself in. I mean, he's been around a long time, honey. He knows how the Fed works, and still have drugs on you. Baby, when I was in the game, we used to show up in court with drugs in our pocket. Why? Because you're drug addicts, right? The things that he's accused of being on, particularly cocaine and so forth, you can't just put that down and stop. Not if you're a real addict. And that's why that's why he was so sexually obsessed, right? Sexually obsessed. They say these parties could go on for days. When I got honest last night, I said, oh, well, that could very well happen. I used to go and deliver to them parties all the time, honey. So Puff Daddy is a drug addict. They don't seem to classify him as a drug addict. They'll say, what I guess because they're celebrities. Oh, they do drugs. They do. No, he's a drug addict, just like a guy on the street that's a drug addict. If he didn't have money, he'd be pushing a shopping cart. Mm-hmm. He was going to pay people to do his dirty, just like he. Yeah, he could do it. He was going to get his kids to do it. They deliver messages. Aren't his kids junior gangsters? I mean, the whole industry. I mean, everybody wants to be a gangster, right? It ain't nothing but a gangster ball. It ain't good, nigga. This a gangster ball. It ain't nothing but. So they glorify police, guns, all this stuff that they talk about in the music. Now he's got to actually experience it. He's going to be in there. I mean, he's going to be in protective custody for now, but eventually, after they sentence him, he's going to be on a prison yard. I can't imagine him not getting any time. Now, they say the best time he could get, the lowest of the 3 charges, is 15 years. I think 2 of them carry 15 years, right? He's not going to get the minimum because there's so much evidence, but he also is not going to get the maximum, which is life in prison. So they probably end up somewhere around 20, 30 years, 20, 25 years. He's employing all these damn lawyers. I would think that the least he could get is some of their time knocked off. But when somebody tells you, okay, you're going to go into that little bitty room for the next 15 years, I'm sure it feels the same as life. About to watch this Megan Fox movie. Megan Fox. Who is Megan Fox? How do you know her, God Before Everything? Is that with the politics? I know this woman, Rachel Maddow, is supposed to have a movie out as well. I think comes out this week. Friday, I believe. It's going to be another element of this Trump mess. Did y'all see that woman, Sarah Huckabee Sanders, what she said about Kamala? They constantly, all 3 of them, want to degrade. Trump doesn't give a fuck, but he plays into his audience. This Vance is obsessed with people having children. Listen, if you want to have children, it's a normal desire for a woman, right? They act like everybody who don't have children are lesser people. Vance even expressed that he don't think they should even vote, or their vote shouldn't mean as much if they ain't raising children. Nigga, because you're raising children, that's got nothing to do with nobody else. Why do you want to control the bodies of 150 million people? Anyway, that time has come to an end. And I know most of y'all are past that baby making age, but at the same time, this will affect our history for the next 30 years. People going to be in court fighting this shit. So we need Kamala in there, put an end to this bullshit and return your rights to you. You don't got to use them. Maybe nobody in your family would ever use them, but you have a right. That's what freedom is, honey. Yeah, Miss Sanders up here talking about, oh, my children, they make me, what do they make her? Make me stable. They make me stable because I'm a mother. I'm a mother. And they say, oh, Kamala, she's not a mother. So she has nothing to stabilize her. She got, how about she has a career in service, honey? Right? She's already told you that her children are the people. When she goes and argue a case, it's Kamala Harris for the people, right? In all of her positions, it's Kamala Harris for the people. What the fuck have they got you to do with you changing diapers? Nothing at all, right? But they all get right under there with these stupid ass talking points. So I cannot wait till this shit is over. I want to see this major fall. Hi, Elaine. How y'all doing? Does Diddy even make music anymore? I mean, I guess some people, mostly is these dudes, these hardheads that want to support him. It's hard to support that, especially if you're a woman. After that video was, no wonder he paid somebody I don't know how much he paid the person, the employee, but that's why he settled with Cassie, knowing that damn video was out there somewhere for $30 million in one damn day, right? He knew how incriminating that shit was, and it was not an isolated incident. This is only what we saw in a hallway. That's it. I'm surprised he didn't kill the woman. And yes, I'm glad she's getting paid. I bet he's over there dreaming about Bali right now. Damn, all I had to do was leave. He I guess he feels like he can just buy his way out of everything. It gets, I got the money. I got the money. Well, obviously the money don't mean everything, bro. He gonna be detoxing in jail? Yeah, he is. That's what you do in jail. Hell, he might be talking sense in a few weeks. Get that shit. Get that hooch out of him, honey. Drinking, smoking, crack. They found drugs on him the day before he went to court. So yeah, that's a full-blown addict. And that explains the freak-offs. The freak-offs took place. People, they always knew that there were drugs being used, but they were going at it like he's drugging these women and then having these men come over and pull gangbangs on them, right? But the primary thing is they were high. The girls were high, but he was high, right? And high will make you do strange shit. High makes some people very violent. I used to know a dude, every time he do a hit, he wanted to go and punch somebody in the face. Then, of course, 2 days later, come, oh, I'll never do it again. I'm sorry. Hit me. Oh, I'm sorry. All that old bullshit, child, until you do the next hit. If they bring that up, Adventures, he also should be investigated into the murders of Tupac and Biggie. Adventures, did you see that movie on Netflix where the people did the investigation on the murders? I don't believe his name came up in that. I didn't watch the whole thing. But for years, 20 years, they've been saying that he was behind them. So we don't know. But if people get in there and get to running their mouth, all it takes is if he find one that knows something and they threaten them with enough time, they will spill it. If they can get the goddamn monsters, the gangbangers, the real gangsters, if they can get them to turn, they can get these people to turn. These are all mostly just his employees. And when they are convinced that he ain't not getting out anyway, they're going to start spilling their guts. I wouldn't be surprised if more lawsuits show up in the next few days too, because they figured they got him. But I don't know if there's anything left to get. Y'all can go ahead and believe he's a billionaire if you want to. He's such a billionaire. Why he put up his damn house? Right? $1 billion's 1,000 million. You couldn't have broke him off. Everybody wants to be a gangster. Why can't they be gangsters? Some of those guys are real from the street. And some of them are just suburban kids who love rap music. They have an image to present and all that. But when you think about it, all this violence and stuff, that's what they promote. That's what they make their fortunes in. Right? Now he's in there with the real ones. He ain't gonna be bad. I mean, I made it in prison. It's not gonna be like that. Somebody said, "Oh, what are he gonna pull a Weinstein?" Black people, we don't go to jail and hang ourselves. It just don't happen, honey. It's almost expected at some point, especially in that industry. You're gonna do some time, sometime, honey. Somewhere there's a place for time. Somewhere you'll do sometime. Peace and quiet will disappear. Hold my hand. Mm-mm. Yeah, it's just a prison is just a waste of time. Yeah, of course, he's going to be popular in there. He's a rapper. They're all probably fans of his music. So no, people are not going to be rushing to stab him and all that kind of stuff, unless he's hurt somebody. There's a family member in there or one of their homies in there. He's done something before revenge, but pretty much, and you can pay for security in prison. You can go get the biggest, ugliest one, honey, and say, "Baby, look here, check this out. I'm gonna put 300 on your books." Now, 300 on in prison, 300 on your books. That's good money, right? Because you can only spend like 150. That's the limit. So he can always go get him some security. Mm. Plus, he probably knows half the motherfuckers in there. He got to come down off them hard drugs. Which ones was he on? I know ketamine was mentioned. Cocaine has been mentioned for decades. That's enough, really. I don't know what kind of pills he was doing. But that I did come to that conclusion yesterday, that realization, the bulb went off. Oh, shit. That's why they're doing it, because they're getting high. Everybody in the party, he said he passed out drugs at the party. They have not been calling people drug addicts, though. That's what they are. When you're a drug addict, honey, you come in the door, everybody's laying on the floor naked and all that. Not unusual. You go in there, they don't even bother to cover themselves up when you go in there, honey. Porn paying all day long. Porn always playing. He has all the symptoms of being, and cocaine is one of those kind of drugs too. It's a big reason why people get hooked on coke and meth. Now I don't know about all these other party things they do. There's ecstasy and all this shit, because that was in the club and before my time. What is Justin talking about? I passed him up. He gonna get an attitude. She claims her stepchildren as hers. You talking about Kamala Harris? Listen, if you were raising children, you're raising children, honey. It don't make no difference if you had those children. If you're responsible for those children, right, then you're raising the child. Why has it got to come out of your body? Right? If you adopt your spouse's children, then they become your family. You're a blended family. They're making too much out of that, mainly because they don't have anything they can use against Kamala Harris. So what they go to, all these goddamn issues they have in government, she's the current, right now, vice president, right? And they come up with her personal life about her inability to have children. And then a lot of women take that very personally. It's very hurtful, because a lot of women who want to have children and can't have them, right? So that's like a deep dig. But I don't think it is the purpose that a woman is on the planet. They don't have children. They don't have, you can't think of nothing else, Vance. At least I got children. At least I got children. I don't even make the tie. What they got to do with politics? Whatever. Put his hands on baby Jane. Pac put his hands on baby Lane, not knowing he was a known unaliver. Baby Lane? I don't even know who the people is. Most of these rappers, I don't even know who they are. I mean, somebody like Tupac, of course, you know them because they were superstars. But the majority of these guys, they call it millionaires, billionaires, all that shit. I don't even know the people. I said, what'd he do? If they ever hit song or something, I hear it, just in passing. But basically, I don't know them people. All these boys he's supposed to have sex with, whatever. I just looked a couple of them up today. I said, I never even seen that person in my life. This is not my era. I don't listen to rap music. I don't know that he has been doing all that much work, though. I mean, has he been having hit records lately? Or is he just running his companies? The judge didn't want to hear it. I don't give a damn what you do. You're not leaving this place until we settle this case. right? I mean, it makes sense. There's no way he's just going to sit up in some apartment, just sit there waiting for a year. He ain't going to do that, honey. He's going to be spending all his time trying to get out of this thing. I guess he said he called that woman 57 times, but she wasn't answering him. He didn't talk to her 57 times. She was ignoring the calls because she knew what the calls were about. That's why he kept calling and calling and calling, trying to get a hold of her so he can threaten her and all that stuff. Tupac's unalive had nothing to do with Puff. Wait, we don't know. We don't know shit. Of course, they're going to cover it up. That ain't the only one he's accused of having done. He could easily have killed that woman. If he'd been treating a woman like that and beating her, when he threw her down, she hit her head on the concrete. You see the force with which he was kicking her. He was barefoot. What if he had his boots on? Would that slow him down? Of course not. That violent spirit, honey. He said, I was out of my mind. It was a low point in my life. I was out of my mind. She stood beside me. But nigga, if you're going to be beating women in the face with your boots and shit, maybe you shouldn't be doing drugs then. Or find another drug that calms your ass down. Right? You know it's going to make you turn you into a monster. Don't do it. Right? Epstein's was done in. That may happen to Puffy. Maybe. But a lot of the things that regular people like you guys assume about jailbirds or people in prison and all that kind of, they usually are not in there trying to hurt each other. They're usually proud of it. Right? If all you do is listen to the music of what they're proud of. So when you go to jail, all them youngsters are talking about who got killed. Oh, he got killed on 27th Street. Yeah, that was my boy. That's my boy. They're always bragging about their violent acts, honey. I very rarely heard anybody in there sound like they're sorry. He'll be a superstar in there. But a superstar don't make no difference when you laying up in that shithole, honey. Every time you have a bowel movement, somebody got to sit there saying, damn, put some water on that dog. Shit. You're all the same in there, baby. They're going to give him a mop and a mop bucket and assign him to his post like everybody else. Everybody but Trump. That's what they needed to do, is put Trump in his place to make an example that anybody can get it. Maybe they're feeling too comfortable. It was coming. That's where the love campaign came from. Oh, he want the love? Mm-hmm. He might sober up for a few days. He might want the love or talk shit about the love. You'll see. When he's in there a little while and he has his right mind, you're going to see a different personality. He's going to be talking and making sense. That old mumbling shit he does now, he hardly communicates. You wonder, well, how this motherfucking idiot running corporations and shit, right? Well, he's doing it when he has a sober mind, or at least getting things started. Was it the neighborhood car? Who you talking to, Goonies? The sad part is there are plenty of people who would willingly participate. Of course there are, Z. There's no reason at all he has to get into all this abuse and all this power shit and making people do stuff. And plus he was paying the men. If he's paying, they do anything. They're prostitutes, right? What, can't you get a prostitute woman? That's how she makes her money. And there's all kind of freaks. And if they all on the same drugs, they freaky as your ass is, right? But it's got to be about this power thing. They want to humiliate somebody, honey. He said at one point, I knew if I can make a motherfucker, a grown man, suck my dick. Well, you're getting off on something like that. Well, why would you want a man to suck your dick if he's not gay or anything? This is just another dude. right? It's a power play. You think you can do everything. You can rule the world. If I rule the world, he gonna find out. And nothing more humiliating when you go to jail or prison. He gonna be in prison. I don't know how many years, but he's gonna be in prison. When you have people who are guards who you know are dumb. You know this person is stupid. And he telling you, get your ass over this guy. Shut your fucking mouth. They have all the power. You know that's got to be pretty humiliating for somebody like him who's used to running things. Mm-hmm. Jeffrey Epstein said, no, I can't do it. Unless they say somebody said they may have killed him. But they don't want to. Why would they kill the goose that laid the golden eggs? I don't know. I don't know what the hell happened there. Hi, Egyptian Goddess 111 moderator and Soul Sister Number One show. How y'all doing? Was it the neighborhood? Okay, let me see. Soul Sister Number One show. Okay, I have. What time is it? No, I got plenty of time, baby. Mm-hmm. Time is on my side. It's real. I'm gonna go to dinner with one of my friends, but that's a couple hours from now. So I guess everybody will be reporting on this today. I got the story pretty early. It happened at the end of the day. They kept on throwing stuff in about what they were going to do on the conditions. The conditions. They trying to map out the condition. You should have let the judge make demands and tell you what you're going to do instead of y'all telling them what y'all going to do. He probably said, "This is not your court, buddy. This is not your court. I'll be deciding. I'm the hog with the big nuts." Tim, were you ever in federal prison? No, I was in state prisons, several of them. Never went to the Fed though. But the Fed is rumored to be much easier than state time. State time usually is overcrowded, right? And you got people who are in there for murders and local type crime. Murder is not a federal crime unless you cross straight lines with it. So the Fed, that's where all them damn rich people go. So there's one thing I didn't do. Thank God. They got tennis courts and golf courses and everything else. They got golf courses. They can send Donald Trump there. He can be EP as long as he can get them hamburgers in there, honey. Yeah, a lot of people want federal time, but the thing about federal time is you do all the time. In other words, they give you 20 years. You do 20 years in prison. In the state, you work for halftime. And so they say you got 20 years, he'll do about 10, 11 years. Like that. So that's kind of a big deal. A whole lot of people in there doing life sentences, honey. Bernie, remember Bernie Madoff? He died in prison. A whole lot of them felt like financial people. They died in the Fed. You get comfortable. You get used to anything, honey. When they slam that gate and you know it's over, you might as well sit down and read a book. Martha Stewart did her Fed time. Mm-hmm. A whole lot of people. A lot of federal time. It involves financial scams, rip-offs, stuff like that. So, the Fed averages out to 85%. Well, that's what I used to think it was 85%, but that's close enough to all your time. It's not as good as 50%. That's for damn sure. But I never did federal time, so I don't know, Goonies. Thank you for correcting me as usual. So nice. He was a kingpin in the streets when he was out there. No, I was a dope fiend. I was a dope fiend, and that's why I sold drugs, and that's why I ended up in prison. It's real simple. You can do that or end up stealing and robbing people. I can never do that. So the streets take over, honey. When you start doing that hard shit, it takes over. So I started a new book. It's called Now What? And the last one, the two good friends or lovers or whoever end up getting off of drugs. Basically, the battle is between a supernatural spirit and fentanyl, right? So they got out of the drug game at the very end of the book. So now they're going on a different kind of adventure. I don't want to just write about one thing. Plus, that shit brings back a lot of memories. When I wrote the battle, the first 3 chapters, that was so close to reality. I mean, I threw the fiction in there, but I had to relive a whole bunch of shit, or at least memories came back. You know, John Gotti was in the Fed. That's where he died. Al Capone. Yeah, I do. There was a period, Egyptian Goddess, where I forget after what book. Oh, after I finished that Love and Gospel Music series, then it was 3.5 years I didn't write anything, right? So I had writer's block. I couldn't think of what to write about. And so I don't ever want that to happen again. So now my attitude is just keep writing, writing series. And I got the bright idea to write Murder in the Beef Sector. And that turned into a series, 3 books. Now this new one's going to be another trilogy. I'll probably just write until I can't write no more. So my memory is so bad I can't write no more. It's bound to happen, baby. Let me see. Trump should have been in the Fed. He should have, years ago, even before the politics. He's been ripping people off his entire life. Oh, he's bragging about what success. He's not no damn success. He had not grown that money that his father gave. He's got left something like $400 million. When she accused him of that. Oh, it wasn't 400 million. I wish it was. How much was it, Trump? Was it 399 million? Your family members said you took their money too. You didn't want them to have shit. But they're getting all theirs in books now, in book royalties. He ain't grew shit, honey. The fuck you gonna be in the gambling business? That's just like the drug business, honey. You ain't supposed to. The house never loses. Yet you managed to lose. How many casinos you had closed down? Fail. Now you out here selling Bibles and tennis shoes and shit. Every time he says something, he wraps it up with asking for money. I know it burns his asshole when Kamala comes and reports hundreds of $1 million in one day. She got hers from the ground, baby. Cat Williams says this is the year. They're all gonna fall. All you freaky deaky. So Cat Williams ain't got no freaky in him. Yeah, I remember in Hollywood, there was a whole lot of them had the freak in them, honey. So far, I have been able to not go spilling people's tea and all that kind of stuff. But there was a whole lot of people having freak offs. They might not have had the resources that this dude had. And I don't think they were using thousands of bottles of baby oil. What the fuck you need thousands of? Maybe he fills his bathtubs up with baby oil. 1,000 bottles? Right? That seems like an awful lot. But then again, when you're tweaking and freaking, he's the freak of the week. He did the freak. Never missed a beat. Yeah. Walters and Alters, he was so precautious when he did the freaking with me. Control. If he didn't have all that money, he had to find some real freaks, right? He couldn't be out there buying people and things. Then he said he was taking the videos and then he could use them against the people to make them do more. Right? I got you on video. I'm gonna show it. I'm gonna release it online. Blackmailing people. More is gonna be revealed. There's a reason they feel like they can convict him of these charges. Right? I mean, after all, it's not like they're murder charges. They got to be real confident that this dude deserves to be where he is. He said he was having he was getting a reputation for having all these other parties. I guess you had the regular party during the light hours, and then after that party, then you go to the freak offs. Well, you would think you would be tired from the first party, the white parties and all this, right? No, not so when you're doing drugs, honey. There you go for the next 10 hours, you know. Would you guys please hit the like button? Thank you, soul sister. Hit that like button. I got to get myself in the algorithm. I see these people passing me up in these numbers, honey. I've been stuck at, what do I have, 22,000? Not that the number means all that much, really. It's basically that all that numbers tells you is how long you've been on here. But if you're in the algorithm, you can pick up more people. So please hit the like button. 1% do when they go on long run. That's what the 1% is doing when they go on the long runs. Mm-hmm. Baby, you do crystal meth, you're up for 3 days. And a good part of that is having sex with people. Unless you done went so far down that now you're on the street. You ain't got the resources and nothing like that. Right? But yeah, that's a very real thing. So far, I haven't heard them mention meth specifically, but I would imagine it's the side effect of other drugs as well. I know cokeheads can do that too. Coke, you just need a whole lot more of it, and he had unlimited resources. Mm-hmm. But all them people you see on the street digging in trash cans, they all started somewhere, baby. Mm-hmm. Okay, y'all please. Y'all hit the up button for Soul Sister. Mm-hmm. It's the same with X. Really doesn't last that long. X, okay. Yeah, Coke don't last hardly long at all, but you can do it for forever as long as you got more Coke. You just got to keep doing it, right? So I don't know about ecstasy and all that. I never tried it. I don't remember. GHB, yeah, I did that. That just paralyzes you, so you can do anything. People run a truck up your ass if that's what they want to do, you know. So that was mentioned. Stay away from hard drugs, people. Just don't. If you don't never try it, you ain't never got to worry about it. Believe me, it ain't worth it. It's not worth it. And even if you do get your sack and you selling, you got it going on, all that, you're gonna spend 80% of your time in prison. Why are you gonna be in prison? Because they're gonna tell on you. You think your freedom is more valuable than theirs? Mm-mm. That's what's gonna happen with Diddy. They're gonna start running their mouth, honey. Especially if the Fed got anything on them. That's why they keep talking about they're gonna charge. How are you gonna charge his employees? They just following orders. But if they can use that as a threat, they'll spill everything. The irony is that after Cassie got her $30 million, and I think she got hers right up front. She got her money right away, right? The same result happens. He could have had the same results without giving her no money. Mm-hmm. Right? So his karma's a bitch. And Coke, even though I had access. No, don't do that. Back in the 70s, 80s, they had movie stars strung out on Coke. That shit was so rampant. Bass heads and all that shit, child. Sometimes they'll run their course. I don't see very many crackheads around anymore. Not like I did in the 80s. But now they got this shit called fentanyl, which is what my last book is about. And you see, and that shit just tears you up, and it kills these kids, right? It's real dangerous, honey, but apparently real plentiful, because the tenderloin it got epidemic. People have been all over. They're standing up and touching the ground at the same time. So I think they have the National Guard doing it on that here in California. Hopefully that time will pass. But America will do something else. We're great consumers. Don't do it. And now they got weed is pretty much legal everywhere, but I think weed is finally accepted as just like drinking wine. So you're gonna do a drug, do weed, but that was my first drug was weed. I don't think it was a gateway necessarily, because one thing ain't got nothing to do with the other thing. One thing is, yeah, man, cool, dude, and all that. The other thing is the whole total opposite. So, but for some people, introducing yourself to any kind of drug can be dangerous. And alcohol. I mean, everybody who drinks wine is not an alcoholic or not a wino, but some will fall. That they are putting multiple counteractive in our public schools. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that fentanyl. They passed out that what's the stuff called interferon or something? I forget. They pass out this stuff that if they OD all over the streets, just passing out to anybody in case you encounter somebody ODing. GHB to control the women and Tussie, exactly. Ketamine for himself. The guys, okay. Yeah, GHB, it is almost like it paralyzes you. Right. You look at the movies he got, the person is so submissive that the people are just having their way with them. It's also sometimes used as a date rape drug. When you were Goonies, when you were in college, for some reason they thought you were a pill seller. Why was it? And you wasn't. Did you look like a crackhead or pill seller? Mm-hmm. A lot of time, white people who haven't been around a lot of black people, they assume that we would know. You know where I can get some of that stuff? So they're big customers too, Remember Kim Porter, they're gonna thank you for the Cash App, Torre. Remember Kim Porter. Yeah, I've been scared to use her name because I didn't follow the case back then. So officially she died of what? Pneumonia. Is that how they covered it up? But it was been rumored for years that he had a whole lot to do with that. And with that Al B. Shore guy who ended up paralyzed. Open that case up now. P. Diddy can have as much sex as he likes. It's a sport. Mm-hmm. He ain't gonna have those desires like that, honey, in prison, unless he can find a way to get some drugs in there. I'm sure even though they're taking everything from him, he'll still have enough money that people could be giving him whatever the maximum in the pen is. But you don't you just don't have desire like that if you're not high. But he'll be with boys. Hell, he's already been with boys out here. You know what he's doing there. Hell, straight people have boys up in there. Mm-hmm. I still believe it's drugs. It's drugs, honey. I used to date this man. What was he? He was some kind of a stockbroker or whatever. He had a financial job. When I met him, he lived large, honey. He drove a Mercedes, had a beautiful house in Hollywood Hills and all that. So the last time I saw him, a couple of years later, that shit had eaten him up so much that he was living in the studio on the flats. He went a long, long way, and it was all about dope. That's it. It can bring down the best person. Now that weed is legal, they smoke it out here bright and early outside. Yeah, it's addictive too, but probably pretty harmless. Most people, I mean, a lot of people smoke weed, especially if they're young. I remember when I walked in on my mama and her best friend smoking weed. Yeah, these were squares. I mean, they were so square. I don't think my mama even had a glass of wine. And I snuck. I came up on them. Where you going home, boy? What you doing? I was smoking. So I know everybody's smoking it. My mama was. Now we talking about a long time ago. I was a teenager. Mhm. There are a lot of people who are treated with weed. Glaucoma. They used to give it to HIV people, but I won't take nothing. I don't want to take shit because I know what the possibility is with me. You have to respect yourself. Respect yourself. La da 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 da. If you don't respect yourself, ain't nobody gonna give a good hoot about you. Respect yourself and respect your past. Learn from your mistakes, honey. A lot of cancer patients smoke. Yeah, it calms you down. I'm not an anti-weed person. I just said beware. Don't let it lead you to other stuff. If you start getting bored with weed, then just stop smoking it, honey. That's the way that shit works. Lowers your inhibitions, and then you want something, try something else. Somebody else put something up in your nose. I like that. I like that. And there you go. Mm-hmm. I would smoke it if I didn't have the kind of past I have. And plus, I don't want to sit around here just being high all the time either. It kind of, yeah, I did my bit with that. I lost more jobs on weed than I did with meth. Well, I didn't lose no jobs on meth because I immediately stopped working. But with weed, I would go on my lunch break and just walk off and be gone for 2 hours on lunch. And one time, this black woman, I was working at the car wash, no, a parking place in Century City, and she blocked the door. Not again. I was out there on my lunch break smoking weed. But 2 hours later, child. No. We'll send you your check. What happened? What happened? It makes you lazy too. Whatever. It's better than doing a whole lot of other stuff. I just lost all that weight. Get back there on the track. I wouldn't even know what to do on the track now, honey. I don't want to be bothered. There are benefits to being an old soul. The energy weed. Oh, you had the energy weed. They got a dispenser right in front of this building. There's a lot of stuff right in front of this building. I live in a very walkable neighborhood, but they got a big dispensary here. A lot of people I know, they smoke. I don't care. It's unfair though. They used to send your ass to prison for that. Yes, you can show us your dates like Jay Williams. What's wrong with that fool? He was in the theater. He had the person off the camera, right? But then I heard him say, was it today? I got somebody. When you got somebody, when you got does he ever knew somebody, or is that the old somebody? The mark somebody, right? That's bad. That's an insecure person, honey. That's somebody who ain't never had nobody. And who's exaggerating the relationship he has now. Because if he's been seeing this boy for 5 or 6 years, why aren't you living together? If you're so in love and you got somebody, why aren't you living together? right? Ben don't want to live with you, fool. Hmm? In the gay world, I mean, usually they meet each other, and oftentimes they'll just end up being friends. So you going to the movies with somebody does not impress me at all. That's right. God before everything. Uncle Tim don't need no hustlers in his place messing up with his priceless statues and things. That hottie fly monster said I was having sex with a statue. No, that all that stuff just leaves you naturally, honey. You shouldn't be out there 60 some years. I'm almost 70 years old, child. Out there on the track. No, thank you. Thank God the way it works, honey. We'll lose our desires. There was an outbreak at one point, I remember, in Florida, where there was an outbreak of drug use in the nursing home. Apparently, them old guys, and they had the outbreak of HIV is what they had. It was an outbreak of HIV in a nursing home in Florida. They were in there having sex. And why are they having sex? Because they were doing drugs, crystal meth. That's a real scandal, honey. I guess it brought them back to life. It's all it'll bring you back, and then it'll shorten it too. Mm-hmm. I'm just grateful to God he let me live into this season, honey. Wasn't supposed to be here. It helps keep them eating and the weight on. The weight on. I don't know weight on, child. I'm still. I think I'm through losing weight though, because it seems to go back and forth around 37 to 40 pounds, and sometimes I go back and that now it's 37 pounds, but it doesn't seem to go down past 37 pounds I've lost, and 40 is the max, depending on what I ate. I guess last couple of days. So I'm cool now. I still got a little stomach to go, but I don't really want to go back to the gym. I tried that for 15 years. I ain't lose no stomach, you know. And it was just about health anyway. It's not about trying to be cute. The cute day's over, baby. It keeps the weight on when they're going through radiation and chemo. Yeah, the doctors will prescribe it. Mm-hmm. If you're wasting, absolutely. People with HIV, you don't feed too many people with HIV wasting anymore. I mean, seriously, I'm not just making it up. It's one pill a day, and the side effects are less than diabetes. It just is what it is. But at one point, when people were getting sick and they were wasting, you know, they could get weed. Remember, first they had medicinal weed first, and now it's all over the place. Some people getting rich too. It ain't a bad. Ask what's that guy in Atlanta? Jamal Bryant. Then he started a weed farm. His money's too good, baby. He keeps doing it. Let me see. Y'all messing with Goonies. Goonies gonna have to be. Goonies a co-star over here, honey. Goonies, you're gonna be like Lemon was with Sir King or Sir Queen, whatever y'all want to call him. You eventually gonna spin off to your own thing. I wish you go ahead and do it. I come over there. Get started, man. So you want to be starting something, got to be starting something. Too high to get over, too low to get under, stuck in the middle. I've heard you talk about a couple of characters from the battle in your life. Oh yeah. God Before Everything is reading my book. What's another person that's giving me updates? God Before Everything, and I don't know. Yeah, that beginning, that getting out of San Quentin, that's me for real. So the main character starts off with me. That's happened in a few books. I start off with what I know, and then it slowly goes into the character. So the character gets his own life. But yeah, that whole thing about meeting that guy, God Before Everything, that's what happened. And especially that hotel, that's where almost all my books were coming from. And the girls was in there. I do love writing. It's a challenge. It's a challenge to work them out by the end. You loved it? You finished it? And they won't let you give me no review over there, huh? Okay. Yeah, if you guys read that book, please consider a few words on Amazon. I need some reviews on there. Generally speaking, when people go to buy books on Amazon, they look at how many reviews you have. Now, we have to say it takes time, though, because at first that's the way it was with Murder in the Beef Sector. And I looked over there the other day, and that thing has got a lot of reviews, great reviews. So it caught on. No, St. James said he picking you up. He picking me up Sunday morning. Is he in town again? He goes. St. James is constantly on the road. He likes traveling. Y'all see him when he was over here one day? So you can't get me on Sunday. Well, no, we don't have church this Sunday. Yeah, I'll be here. We had a nice little talk on here. Yeah, they got him so good, Torre, that this might cost him the rest of his life. So they might not need to go and investigate Kim Porter, because whatever they do at this point, if they already got him for 30 years, they might not want to spend the time to open another investigation, because it's sure going to be buried. It's going to be hard to prove unless somebody run them out. That's all it takes. Our life in prison is life in prison because they have so many. Let me see. All right, you guys, thanks for coming in. I don't know what else there is to say about Puff Daddy, because the next thing is going to have to be the trial. They're not letting him out. So we were waiting for her to see if he could get bailed out the second time. That's 2 days. All it took was 2 days for him to say, no. And so now it's just going to be about his case. He can't make no news out of prison. Anyway, we'll try to keep up. Thanks for coming in, everybody. I listened to the book enough. Alexa. Oh, on Alexa, that's how I read my books. I don't use Alexa though. I use Kindle. The Kindle, the talking part. There goes the bell. I gotta go. All right, you guys. Thanks for coming in. Thanks, Soul Sister. Moderators. Soul Sister number 1. Later, people. Oh, Misunderstood. You got here too late, Misunderstood. Bye.